What's up, y'all? This is B&E Sports Talk. We're going to go with a little bit of a Week 10 review. First off, we got that Thursday night game. Just an absolute shitty show to watch. I can't imagine how many people actually tuned in and then stayed tuned in to a 7-10 game.
It was ugly. It was ugly for 4 quarters.
The Broncos should have taken this game by at least 20 points, and everybody would have felt perfectly fine with it. Instead, it was somehow a defensive showdown. At least we popped out with a win. We're 8-2, feeling good.
Yeah, and then the Raiders missed, I think, 2 field goals as well.
Yep.
They had opportunities to win. They just suck. The Broncos had a terrible, terrible showing once again, really. It's a couple weeks in a row where I'm kind of concerned about them. Obviously, their record's great. They have a good chance of winning the division. But if y'all bring this into the playoffs, I don't have any positive things to say about this team going into the playoffs. I don't think you can compete.
I mean, if the defense keeps playing, we're going to limit teams to a small enough amount of points that we should be able to compete. But not if we're putting up 10 fucking points.
Y'all need to get your offense together. And J.K. Dobbins got potentially hurt. Hopefully he's back soon.
Hopefully. It doesn't seem like anything too crazy, but you never know. Next up, we got Steelers-Chargers. This game, it didn't go how I expected. The Chargers finally woke back up. Everybody played, and all the engines were chugging. I thought the Steelers were going to come up with this one pretty good. And no, Chargers played a good game.
Nah, the Steelers didn't get a touchdown until the very end of the game. It was a really boring game. I was down and out by the second quarter, quite frankly. That was a snooze fest last night. But it is nice to see the Chargers get back on the win train. They're 7-3. They're in great position. Right there behind the Broncos. There's 2 teams ahead of the Chiefs in this division.
It's awesome.
Yeah, this is cool for AFC seeding.
Next up, we got Lions-Commanders. This pretty much went exactly how I expected it to go. Lions came in, kicked some butt. They needed a little bit of fire under their rear after last week. Get all the pieces moving again, wake up. They're ready to go.
Yeah, they looked fantastic against a just awful Washington defense. Mariota didn't look too bad, though. I mean, Lions defense is solid. He did about what I expected him to do. 22 points against the Lions is decent.
Yeah, I mean, Mariota is just Jaden Daniels, just a little bit slower, less of an arm. But, they have a very similar mindset in the way that they play the game. Next up, we got Rams-Niners. I'm pretty sure we both picked the Rams to come in and take this one, didn't we? Or did we go back?
Yeah, we both did. I did not expect them to win by 16 points, though. I'll tell you that much.
No, I expected it to be much closer, for sure.
Yeah, I expected them to cover, but barely. 7 to 10 points. They just owned this game from start to finish. The Rams look amazing. Matthew Stafford and Puka and Devontae Adams, they're just clicking.
Yeah, Devontae got hurt, so Matt Stafford got his 400th touchdown this weekend. That was pretty cool. Not many people get the opportunity to do that, so add that to his Hall of Fame career.
Yeah, I was just about to say, he's going to the Hall of Fame. I know that's always been kind of a hot button issue, especially on these bullshit ESPN talk shows, of whether he's a Hall of Famer or not. He's definitely a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, for sure. This year is just going to kind of put the cake on top. They're real competitors in the NFC, so we'll see where they take it.
They legit have a Super Bowl possibility. I'm not saying they're the best in the NFC, but they have a true shot of getting to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, if they put it all together, it's just about everything clicking at the right time.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Cardinals-Seahawks. This pretty much just proved to me exactly what I think everybody wanted to see out of the Seahawks this week was them beating a mid-2 quality team. After stringing together some wins, they come in, they beat the Cardinals handedly. That's something that I think we all wanted to see. That's something we all wanted to be sure of with the Seahawks, is that they can handle a team like that and just be good to go.
Yeah, shout out to Marcus Lawrence, 2 touchdowns. That was awesome to see. Their defense looked amazing. They really did all their damage in the first half. They scored 6 points in the fourth quarter. That was it. They had won the game at halftime already, so I get they were just kind of trying to run the clock out. But they definitely do need to work on some things on offense. That wasn't the best game they've had by any means on offense. Their defense won them that game for sure.
I think that was truly just a lot in part to the fact that they just really didn't have to do much.
Yeah, no, they're clearly just a better team. I mean, they were up 38-0 in the second quarter.
Yeah, they were up. Next up, we got Jaguars-Texans. Texans woke up with Davis Mills late in the game. This looked like a game that was probably going to go the Jaguars' way for a hot little minute, and then bang, Texans just kind of showed up. Defense started going hard, and they did it. They came back. They won a game that they had to win, interdivision, and they're going to chug along and hopefully make playoffs off of that.
And Sheldon Rankins with the random pick 6 at the end of the game to cover the spread. Let's go.
Right.
We need to really reiterate how hard Davis Mills went there in the fourth quarter. They went 26-0 in the fourth quarter as far as points. They were down 29-10.
Let's go, Long Neck. That man's hard. I'm glad I started him this week. He's probably the only reason I pulled off my dub.
Yeah, if you started Gino, you would have been down.
Oh my
bad.
God. Gino had like 12 points. I think he had like 6 points in standard league or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
Next up, we got Ravens-Vikings. Vikings put up a little bit of a push in this game for a while. They've been impressive the last couple of weeks. I know they took the L, but don't put this game behind them. The Ravens have essentially flipped their early season script, and now they're looking really good. Be wary of the Vikings. They do look better than I was thinking they were going to look with J.J. McCarthy coming back. So 2 weeks in a row, slim loss to the Ravens. That's nothing that I'm feeling crazy bad about. Good win for the Ravens. They took it at home or at the Vikings home in a tough place. So
it was a good win for the Ravens. They definitely needed that. The Vikings needed a win too. However, I think the Vikings look good, like you said. The Ravens are definitely on a big playoff push though, especially after the Steelers just lost last night. I think they're one game out. Get ready for some heated AFC North football between the Steelers and Ravens. So we get 2 matchups late in the season, week 14 and week 18 between the Steelers and Ravens. Those will probably come down to be the 2 most meaningful games of their year. I can't believe 1-5 and they're in it, like fully in it. And at this point, I feel like that they should win this division.
next up, we got Giants-Bears. I think this was the ultimate letdown of the week, and it's crazy that this was the fall off that finally led to Brian DeBall's firing.
I like Brian Daboll, man.
It was never his fault. We'll say that right now. None of it was ever his fault. I know he got a little bit fiery sometimes, but I can't imagine who wouldn't be that frustrated in such a shitty Giants organization that's done nothing to support you since you've gotten there.
No, Brian Daboll's a good coach. I really appreciated how fiery he got. You know, he was in the ref's face calling them on their bullshit. You know, I'm a Cowboys fan. I don't really like the Giants, but watching them play, they are on the shit end of so many bad calls. I understand his pain with those. I like Brian Daboll. I think he still has a good future in coaching. I wouldn't really hold this over him at all. Look at all these other Giants guys that have left and are succeeding. I imagine we'll see Brian Daboll in the future as a head coach somewhere else. But as for the game itself, the Giants, they were up 17-7, and the Bears came back, scored 14 in the fourth quarter, and they ended up winning 24-20. They covered that spread barely at the end. I thought the Giants were going to win pretty much all the way through, but man, Giants, once again, big lead, late collapse. I guess that's the real reason they fired Daboll. They just don't have the pieces. That's all. Okay, yeah, next up we got the Saints and Panthers. The Saints went into Carolina, and they took on a 5-4 Panthers team and pretty much just owned them all the way through the game. Rico Dowdle, I know he's playing hurt. He only scored the 1 touchdown in the first quarter, and they couldn't do anything after that. 17-7 final. Panthers were 5.5-point favorites at home. The Saints are an interesting football team. Tyler Show looked pretty good. He had a solid day. I could have used him for fantasy, quite frankly. He's sitting on my bench. The Panthers struggling back to 500, which gives me the feeling that they're going to get a win this week and go to 6-5, and then probably lose the next week to go to 6-6.
Panthers is just, I don't know, every time you want to give them a little bit of confidence, they know exactly how to let you down.
Yeah.
I don't expect anything different. This week, they'll probably end up catching the win, but we'll see.
The enigma of the Panthers, bro. They don't make any sense.
Next up, we got Falcons-Colts. I am going to blame this entire game going to overtime on the stupidity of the Colts head coach. I mean, I've never seen somebody give up so many field goal opportunities because your kicker missed a 54-yarder. Let's be honest, like how many guys actually can convert 50-something yard field goals on a very consistent basis? Probably not that many. So for him to miss one and then y'all to completely give up on it when you could have easily gone up an extra 9 points and completely avoided overtime. I hope they just certainly take note of this and start kicking field goals in the future. Because I know Michael Badgley was sitting there on the sideline acting like an idiot.
The kicks would have avoided them overtime, but since they went there, they covered the spread just barely. I'm cool with it. Yeah, the Colts should have won this game in regulation, no problem, just by kicking field goals instead of having turnovers on downs. I completely agree with you on that. But Jonathan Taylor had 244 rushing yards on 32 carries, 3 touchdowns, absolutely absurd. He kind of did what I expected and just took over the game. With that being said, though, if he has 244 rushing yards, there's no reason this game should be in overtime. They should have won this game more handedly than they did. I'm not too concerned about it. They need to get better going forward. If Jonathan Taylor is going to go that hard, they need to win the game automatically.
100%. Yeah, there was no reason this game was as close as it was.
All right, next up we got Browns and Jets. I was way wrong, I guess. Even though the Jets did win by a touchdown, they obviously covered their 1.5 point spread that they were favorited by. I still think the Browns should have won this game. The Jets got punt return and a kick return touchdown. The chances of that happening, it's 0 basically. I don't think the Browns are good by any means, but the Jets honestly just had a special teams victory right here. That one sucked to bet on.
Hey, I didn't have a problem with this one. I told y'all last week, take the Jets, they were going to win this game, and it was going to be their second win of the season. So if you didn't listen to me and you listen to this dumbass, that's y'all's fault. Jets caught the dub. You should have listened.
We also had another crazy upset this week in Week 10. The Dolphins at home beat the crap out of Buffalo 30-13. Bills had multiple turnovers. I believe they're 0-3 now in games where they have multiple turnovers, so that's definitely something to look at. I think this was kind of a hangover game for the Bills after going all out to beat the Chiefs. They come in, they're playing the Dolphins. They should beat them. I'm pretty sure everybody thought the Bills were going to win that game pretty easily. The Dolphins, they came out there, they went hard. They just played better. Devon Achane looks insane. He was running all over that field. We'll see what the Dolphins can do. That might just be, one of a couple good wins they get this year, or maybe they can go on a little run. I'm not convinced off of just that week. They've seemed really up and down, kind of like the Bills have, for real. The Bills seem to have been playing up to good competition and playing down to their weaker competition for sure this year. Look for the Bills to bounce back next week in Week 11. I'm not too concerned about Buffalo at all. Another great game this week was the Patriots and Buccaneers in Tampa. 28-3, the Patriots win it. They're on a 7-game win streak. They're absolutely rolling in first place in the AFC East over the Bills. That Bills loss definitely helps them out even more. This was a fantastic football game. The Patriots just look amazing. I cannot emphasize that enough. Travion Henderson finally broke out. He had 147 yards on 14 carries, a couple of big ones for touchdowns. Drake May looks just great. He's so solid. On the flip side of that, Baker had a really good game, but the Bucs are still banged up. So the fact that they stayed in this with a 5-point game, I'm not concerned at all that they lost. I assumed they were going to lose. I know they were 2-point favorites or 3-point favorites going into this, but they're still really banged up, and the Patriots are clearly a great football team. So I'm still looking for both of these teams to move forward and continue being really solid. We just need Bucky Irving to come back for real, and then the Bucs need some receiving help. Ibuka can't do all of it, so someone's got to come back. Cade Otton did a great job. He had 9 catches, but someone's got to fill that void other than Cade Otton. All right, Eagles up to 7-2 on a 10-7 victory on the road in Green Bay on prime time. Lambeau's always a tough place to win at, but they got the job done. Obviously, super low scoring, like I said, but it wasn't just a boring game. I thought it was pretty entertaining. Really good defense tonight on both sides. Josh Jacobs had the late fumble that ended up blowing the game for Green Bay. I'm not sure what Sirianni was doing there at the end, trying to throw for the end zone instead of taking a delay of game and punting or trying a long field goal. I'm not sure what was going on with that. They ended up giving Green Bay one extra shot. Either way, though, the Packers are still in decent shape at 5-3-1, but now all their games are going to be, even that much more pressure with the Lions starting to turn up the way that they are. Real good Week 10. I'm excited for Week 11.